Out of the way.
All right. Home Squad Sports. Hope everyone having a good night, man. Good week. Dalton is remote coming in from Florida. He'll be in just a second. Got a lot of good news. Mountain West preview. Going to cover that top to bottom, man. We got some great recruiting news that's been dropping pretty much as of late, as of a couple hours ago. So got you pretty much up to date on a couple of our guys. So today we got some big news from Jaxyn Faldyn, our guy out of Tomball, Texas. Got a couple offers today. One was from Minot State. There in North Dakota. So shout out to him. Obviously was on our dual threat list, met him at Elite 11, and shout out to you, Jaxyn. They're going to start rolling in. We've seen this a couple times actually. So a couple guys getting offered. He's not the only one. We got guys that are already offered that are going to visits this week. We just had our boy Corey Daly out of Texas as well. He just went on his visit to Texas State. So big round of applause here. Big round of applause. He looks good. We don't know if he's going to stay home. Obviously, no one does, but looks good in the Texas State uniform there, the Bobcats. One of the newest teams, in FBS. I know 2014, I think, was one of their first years, so I think it was their first year. But the man, the myth, the legend himself is coming in, Dalton. Give a round of applause to Dalton. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Great timing by me right there. Just got here, 7:55. Got the laptop out, pulled it up. Let's get it.
Let's get it. We got some good big news. Obviously, we see Corey Daly on our screen next to the Corvette. I mean, look styling, profiling. But what'd you think of? Would Corey Daly look good in these uniforms? I just think he does, right?
Honestly, I think he has so much swag in that picture.
I swear.
I can't even hate, bro. Like that. I would love to have that picture when I was in high school.
Yeah, I agree.
Visor too, like a gold visor,
I
bro.
know that wasn't around back in our time. That was like slightly after that. Like that was after obviously our time when they started coming out with the cars and all that stuff. Like trying on the jerseys was like just becoming a thing when like we were.
But
Yeah.
shoulder pads on or anything, just the jersey,
Just the jersey, exactly. I was just about to say that. You didn't get to try on the whole helmet and everything. It's pretty much just the jersey. So, but Dalton, you're in Florida. How's Florida going? I know you just got there pretty much. But
Yeah, I got to enjoy it yet. But after this, it's all gonna be fun. So just grind this out. I'm ready for it though, man. Mountain West this year is looking exciting, and good recruits. So it should be it's a good week.
Yep, and we've seen our report. Jaxyn Faldyn got offered today as well, and then we got our boy Corey Daly. He's not done visiting. Big visit here to Pitt on the way, so that's coming up this week, June 12th through the 14th. This is a big week for our boy.
He looks way better in Texas State.
I swear. So he's on the road right now.
You look better at Texas State.
I know. I agree.
Like those jerseys. I mean, I used to say I like Pitt's jerseys. I don't like the all whites at all.
I know. I agree. Well, he's there right now. I guess his visit's today, so he just finished that up today. So shout out. We'll see where he goes, man. But we got a lot to cover, like you just mentioned with the Mountain West. I mean, top to bottom, we scouted it. We was up very late scouting. We see a lot of news coming out this week. Obviously, we'll get your thoughts on the NCAA stuff, the House ruling of all the salaries and paying the players and all that stuff. I was just on a side note. I was watching stuff about Drew Aller from McShay. A lot of similar points. He's just pretty much thinking he's like a Will Levis, but obviously a little bit better. But what do you think of Aller as part of like? He's got some things he's got to work on. Do you think like he's QB1 material? Like looking in, obviously we don't know yet. We got the season, but what do you think?
You know how I feel nowadays about the way the game's evolving in the NFL. You need a mobile guy, and he's just not that. I'm not saying he can't move at all. He has some mobility, but he's not that elusive outside the pocket like a Mahomes or, Lamar, Josh Allen. All the top quarterbacks are now. Jaden Daniels. Every good quarterback is very mobile now. Even if you're not a runner. Like Mahomes ain't a runner, but he's very mobile. And Aller just doesn't have that, man. So you got to have next level arm strength and arm talent, and he hasn't shown that yet.
Yeah, I know. I agree. McShay made a really good point of like his guy. He has to see both numbers of his receiver for it to be a good. Guy has to be pretty much open for him to make the play. He's got a lot of stuff to work on, but obviously could play himself into that quarterback one
Oh
situation.
yeah,
But go looking into it, I just don't think I don't think he's going to be quarterback one. We'll
he,
see.
I talked about this in my Penn State podcast, and I said to me right now he's like QB 4 or 5, and that's being once you get past the 3, it's like a lot of moving around. Sellers, Klubnik, and who is my third? Arch, if he comes out, is my top 3.
Ooh, all right, okay, I like that.
So,
I think a lot of guys are going to play their way into a first round conversation. At new schools, new conferences, all that jazz.
I mean,
Um,
quarterback class
so
is pretty deep.
yeah, we're going to see maybe a couple guys play themselves into a draftable grade here in the Mountain West. So let's go ahead and get into it here, Dalton. We got the Mountain West Preview 2025. I mean, it's locked and loaded. We're starting off with some pretty good non-conference games as well. So that's pretty nice to see. We got UCLA there at UNLV, Boise State at Notre Dame, San Jose State at Stanford, and then Army at Air Force Classic there. All of these, man, look pretty solid. All these top to bottom respectable games. That's why they're on here. But any of them stand out, out of the list?
I'm really excited to see how UNLV looks this early in the season, man. Dan Mullen, I think it's the second
Yeah.
game of the year. All right, second week of the
Yeah.
season.
September 6th. Yeah.
Big game. UCLA, see how they are. Ian Aliava coming in there. See if Deshaun Foster can get it rolling. So it's a huge game for both programs for that early.
Huge for Deshaun Foster. It wouldn't look good if he loses to Dan Mullen week
For the Big
one.
Ten
But
school, it's bigger for them. But still, if Mullen could win this, I mean, they can make the playoff. I mean, it's just they beat Boise then, so it's huge for both teams. I'm excited to see this game, man. A lot of new faces on both sides. So many new faces. So two basically new teams, man. To be in
yeah,
the game.
yeah, two teams. Just the only thing the same about them is the logos on the helmets and the uniforms. Pretty much. I mean, you're going to see it time and time again with all these college teams, and we'll talk about that later. Because that's going to play into how these teams are looking on. Who's getting paid where and when. So Boise State at Notre Dame. Boise State's going to try to put up a fight. We'll see.
I think they will.
They got a tall task.
How many times do they get blown out though?
I don't think they get blown out. No, I don't think they get blown out. I definitely do think they cover though. Whatever the spread is going to be, I think they cover.
Okay, I like that. I think they cover it too. I really like Boise State. We've seen them every time they play a big school. Everybody's like, "Oh, I ain't gonna win. Ain't gonna be close." They almost won that playoff game this year, and Notre Dame made the championship. If they can hang with them for 4 quarters, that proves a lot.
Yeah, there's too many times where we was like, okay, Boise State's playing, a little bigger school, and then we don't pay attention to the game, and you get along with another game or your night, and you look at your phone, you get a notification. Oh my God, it's fourth quarter. Boise State's tied. It's tied. It seems like anytime they're underdogs, it comes down to the last minute,
You
no
know,
matter what people think.
it's crazy that people said they were like Boise State's back too. They didn't go nowhere. They were like 10-2 every year. They just, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
even when that was their down time, 10-2
Yeah,
years in
I
a row.
just think they weren't playing up as much as they were used to seeing. They weren't
Yeah,
playing up, conferences, but they, like you said, they were still winning, so it doesn't matter. You can only play who's in front of you, right? So I
yeah.
agree.
I was excited for this game too, man. October 5th, kind of the middle of the year. Little weird non-conference scheduling for Boise. Of course, Notre Dame's independent, so they're always going to do that. But weird, real timing for Boise. Interested to see that, and that's a far travel for them. Hopefully, it's not a noon kickoff.
Yeah, that's a good point there. I mean,
Usually
like,
also worse for West Coast teams, man.
yeah, a lot of these G5 schools, all of them's like to be determined on time because of the big schools and the flexes and
Oh,
all that.
this is got. I got. Well, just what we're talking about. I got to put. Florida does not have one noon game all year.
You put that in our group chat. I love that. That's awesome for you all. I hammer the over.
Man, it's amazing. I
I
don't
mean,
have to
that's
get up at 12, and if we lose, my whole day's ruined.
yeah, that's
Now I can
true.
still watch football.
No, that's true.
Great,
That's true.
great. It's awesome, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be so. Every game's gonna be sold out now.
Yeah, you get a good you get a good probably 4 or 5 solid games in before across the board. It's probably same time slot.
Exactly.
Before you get to watch your team. So like you said, that's good.
Yeah, I can
That's
do my
good.
scouting then, and then that's great. So I
Heck
love it.
yeah,
It's a
heck
great
yeah,
because if we play at 12 and lose, I'm not gonna scout the rest of the day. I'm too mad.
yeah.
So we play 3:30, 7:30. I scout all day. Great, love it. Can't wait for the season, and I can't wait to see the San Jose State Stanford game either.
Oh, I know. That's going to be a barn burner, I think, and we'll see. We'll see if it's high scoring. I know Andrew Luck obviously taking over as his first year as GM. He's already made moves. Clearing house pretty much, running it his way. I don't know. I'm pretty skeptical about the Andrew Luck experiment, which with his alma mater, him running the show. I'm not saying he doesn't have a good arm, but him just running a college program. I'm not saying he's going to be good, not
Yeah,
be good at it, but being good at it first year,
who
he's going to get some lumps.
you know who their quarterback is projected to be?
No, because
Look right.
he was talking just about it like a couple weeks ago, saying they already need a new quarterback. So,
Yeah,
um,
Anthony Daniels transferred to Auburn. He ain't even gonna start.
yeah, no. And then
So that
Auburn's looking at Landon Duckworth is down to his last two. They might be getting him again, and they already got Deuce Knight at quarterback
oh, they brought
backup.
in, they brought in a transfer from Central Florida who played a little bit last year, Dylan Risk, and they brought in Ben Goldbrinson from Oregon State. Elijah Brown's a sophomore coming back, but
I mean,
uh,
you could just pretty much you could pretty much imagine how they're going to play with Andrew Luck running the helm. It's going to be real heavy run, some play action. You're going to see a quarterback take his first snaps under center at Stanford. I mean,
I don't
I
think
don't
they're.
know.
I don't think
I
they're gonna.
don't
I think this is my upset pick. I'm going San Jose
love it.
State right now. I'm going San Jose State today. I'm not changing it. I won't change it. I don't care what happens going into the game. Stanford could look great. San Jose State look bad. I'm sticking with it. It's gonna be a defensive battle. San Jose State got a lot of guys coming back. We'll talk about them a little bit later, but we really like them this year.
Yeah, we do, and then obviously we have the Service Academy here, just balling as usual. We'll talk about them as well, returning all their starters with Air Force, Army. Man, I don't know. This is a hard one. Obviously, Army just would not fall for so long of the year. I mean, we were waiting, we were betting on them every week. Them and Navy, who was going to lose first.
Yeah,
Army, Air Force. Who you got right here? Who do you think comes along with it? I mean, November 1st, starting it off right.
Army's is really good right now. It seems like Jeff Monken got it rolling there, man. I mean,
Yeah, they're recruiting ballers, bro. Like they're recruiting ballers. We
they had
seen on our in our dual threat quarterback list, we have an Army commit, Sammy Dunn. I mean, he can throw it, he can run it. They're getting guys that they're stealing guys at this point. They're get guys who could go bigger programs at this
well, they
point.
have to do that too because obviously they can't use the portal. So
Right. That's true.
them and Air Force and Navy really behind the eight ball, but you could have easily put Navy Air Force on here instead as well because they got Heidenreich and their quarterback coming back. You said his name, I forgot it.
Oh, yeah, Horvath. Yeah, Blake.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Horvath
good.
coming back and Eli Heidenreich, two top 100 players on some list I've seen.
And
Ranked.
our quarterback that was on our list, Case Vandenbosch, he's actually going to be at Army this weekend camping.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
shout out to him. But let's go ahead and get it to it, Dalton. We got our predictions for our ratings for the Mountain West. Now you got Boise State doing their thing. Dan Mullen coming in second here. Then San Jose State, like you said, coming up with a big upset there against Stanford. That's going to land them in a good spot with Mountain West, and we got them coming in at 3. We'll break it down all these teams there and all their records. Go ahead and break down a couple of these lists and a couple of these teams. Obviously, we have Fresno State at 4, and who you like in here, or maybe some things that might switch around.
So just talking about this conference, like in general, Fresno State's never going to be like past fifth.
Right.
They're always
Always.
consistently solid. When they play a big team, they'll lose by 10. They ain't gonna get blown out. They're always solidly coached. Got some good talent. Can't get over the hill. They had Jake Hayner, Derek Carr, David Carr. Can never get over the hill, but they always have talent for a mid-major. So I like them fourth. That's just a pencil in kind of chalk there. I
Yeah.
don't think they're better than the 3 teams, but they're better than the rest. Wyoming got a lot of people coming back. They were really bad last year. We got them kind of middle of the pack here, stepping up a little bit. I still don't love their talent level though. And then I'm excited to see Timmy Chang again at Hawaii third season, man.
Yes.
He gets
Yes.
going. I mean, we don't think so clearly, but we don't know everything. They might have something going on down there that we don't know about.
Well, they do. They're building the new stadium because their old stadium,
Right?
Aloha Stadium, got deemed like unsafe because like
They
it was like eroding. So they need a new stadium, which they're about to start construction on. They're in a limbo stage right now. They just got our boy Taden Kawa, or no, they just got our boy one of our guys. They just I think it's Kawa. Yeah, he just
yeah, the
committed there.
flying guy,
Yeah,
right?
Hawaiian guy. Yeah, he just transferred there. I mean, committed there at quarterback. So they got good stuff in the works. But like you said, it takes time. Good things takes time. Just like the stadium, it's going to take time to build that. It's going to take time to build up the Hawaii brand. I know with basketball, they just brought in, I think Patty Mills is their GM. So football, it's baby steps here. I mean, well, we have always been kind of confused on how it's not like a recruit destination. Why wouldn't you want to go to Hawaii? But
Oh,
they have a
yeah.
lot of home games, and they have a lot of home games like in a row, which we'll be able to break down because we have all their schedules. But this top five is not too much of a surprise, obviously, because these guys have been doing it for a long time. But we're going to see what Dan Mullen can do and see if he can try to get a Mountain
Oh,
West title.
they could
So look,
easily win the conference.
I
Before we
know we wouldn't be surprised. Let's go ahead and break it down, though. We have the whole schedule. Now we got South Florida, Eastern Washington, Air Force, App State. Obviously, that Notre Dame game. So nothing too crazy here. Manageable, just like Boise State's always had. And then which is going to lead them to our prediction. So our prediction here is a 11-1 season. Last year, obviously going 12-2. We have their top transfers here: Malik Shepard from
stretch a
Fresno
lot.
State. Yeah, they did lose their Andrew Simpson to North Carolina there with Belichick. So, obviously front eight's always a big thing with them. But I like the 11-1 prediction. What'd you think here?
I mean, I don't see him losing a Mountain West game unless it's UNLV. I feel like I said, I really like UNLV's roster. There's just not much continuity there, so I can't pick them to beat Boise. Boise's just always so well coached, man, and
Always.
they don't lose teams that they're not supposed to, like ever. Last 20 years since we've been watching football,
I know.
a whole lot.
I was just watching a dozen question, the dozen that it was an old one. That Braden Safransky was,
Jared
um,
Zabreski,
Jared Safransky was one of the questions. His he threw 35 touchdowns, his career best, but it was his freshman year. So that was kind of crazy. I didn't expect that he had 35 touchdowns his freshman year.
he was
Um,
though.
Yeah, I swear. So, and then, I mean, obviously they played Notre Dame and they're going to try to get that upset because they got one of their old players in Jaden Mickey here, corner from Notre Dame. That's always big when you got a guy playing his old team. That's going to play a factor. That could be potentially a second upset.
Yeah, could be upset. Notre Dame's man. They got so many draftable players this year.
I know.
As I know, I just did the show yesterday and Tuesday, and man, they're loaded. They're loaded on offense.
Loaded up front. They just got size. They got true athletes
Their
everywhere.
quarterback's good. They might go to the championship again, but they have a new quarterback breaking in. So, I mean, Boise's good. If their defense causes a lot of chaos this game against Notre Dame, they definitely got a chance to pull it out. But they got to stop Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price and E.S.
God.
Williams, three-headed backfield, and probably the best backfield in the country.
Yeah, and you brought up some good points on Draft Professor. Jordan Love, Love's already up. Jordan Love, he's already up to like what you said, 212 or something. He's already gained weight, right?
Yeah, he played last year at 203, up 9 pounds. By the season, he might be up 10 to 12, 15, maybe even.
Yeah,
And for speed back, that's huge, man. If he can maintain the same speed and cuts he had and the hurdles at 212, I mean, he's top 10 pick caliber for running back. And I don't say
I
that
know.
often. I didn't even say that about Ginty. I think he's a better prospect than Ginty going into the year.
Going into the senior, yes, because obviously Jaxyn Ginty, he took the baton and ran with it from week one. And obviously we're talking about his old team here. So Dan Mullins, obviously, he's lurking. He's lurking with UNLV here. They have a tough one at September 6th at UCLA. After that, though, it's pretty manageable. Idaho State, at Miami of Ohio, at Wyoming, two road games in a row. Then you got to turn around and face Air Force. Obviously not a walk in the park. And then the conference favorites there, October 18th at Boise State. Going to be a showdown. Potentially undefeated at this point, both teams, or what do you think the odds
They
are of
could
that?
be. I'm still taking UCLA. I'm not sure why, honestly,
Okay.
because I like UNLV's roster better. So I don't know why I'm taking them. I can't see them going 11-1. That's the only reason they're going to drop one. I don't think they could drop one to Air Force instead, but UCLA is just they got athletes still. I think Deshaun Foster did a solid job building them up, and I don't like Nico, but he's way better than Ethan Garbers last year. So
I feel you. I agree. I think obviously we got to
you don't
stay.
like
We got to
him.
take steps in the right direction. We can't just obviously you're not going to get to the championship in just a year or two. Deshaun Foster though, it's a big year for him. Like we said, we're going to hear that throughout the whole offseason and throughout the rest. Throughout the whole season, it's going to be a big year for him and UCLA. They got big gambles with Nico in the transfer portal. With him and the quarterback, man, I just wouldn't be surprised if Dan Mullen gets that dub. But then he might turn around and lose a game he should win down the road. So, not saying he's going to run the table, but we got him at 10-2. We got them Calandria's get one of their biggest transfers there from Virginia. But talk about these key players here and what you're thinking. Obviously, most of them is the receiving core.
Yeah, so I know two of these guys really well. Chief Borders and Dejon Reynolds both were at Florida before they went to Pitt. So two very talented guys. They just haven't produced yet, but Pitt hasn't produced really since Kenny Pickett on offense. Holstein had a decent year last year, but he wasn't overly productive either. Four receivers transferring from Power Four schools though, and all of them have had production at least 1 year. Omer
Yeah.
from
Yep.
Texas last year kind of got lost in the shuffle, but he had a great career at Arizona State. Probably regretting that he left now. But JoJo Earl, Alabama TCU guy, was a 5-star recruit coming out at Bama. Hasn't really took off yet, but he's got the talent obviously. And then Corey Moore been at Auburn and LSU, so he got SEC talent potential. I really like the receiving core, man. I mean, a group of 5 team guarding these guys. I mean, good luck. If
Yeah, like
Andre played up to his talent level, though, he's so streaky at Virginia. You could see his talent. I thought as a freshman he was going to be really good right by now. So
I know, yeah, he had some hype coming in, and he's definitely going to have a smorgasbord of options here this year. So, not too many excuses there, especially when you got Dan Mullen calling your plays. It's pretty offensive friendly, and kind of, he's one of the first guys that ran the spread, in different ways, right? So we got the UNLV here going 10-2. Not surprising. Obviously, we said it's hard to put them at 11-1, but I think we did not predict these conference records for a reason. Just so many of these games could switch and flip flop, be in the same record but different teams, yada yada. So
like
we'll
the
see.
game predictions, anyways. Just
Yeah,
give me a record. I don't care what games they lose. Really, just if your record's right, you can call it. It don't matter.
I agree. And we got another team here that's got a great stadium. If you ever seen their stadium, very futuristic. It's small. It fits them. It's cool. San Jose State. I like their brand of football, man. They've really grew on me the last couple of years. Obviously, they had Nash there at wide out, big body receiver, kind of like Ted McMillan. Obviously, not as good as Ted McMillan, but a big guy, and I think he's going to have a big NFL career. But I like the schedule. They're not shying away from obviously going at Stanford and starting their game, getting a little money at Texas.
I mean, I don't think they got a chance in that one, but
No, but it's just good to see them play those teams.
oh, absolutely, and it helps when you get to the conference play, playing the smaller teams. You got way more confidence. We play better people than this already. Like Arch Manning's obviously the best quarterback they're going to face. Probably the best receivers they're going to face. Texas just got once you play Texas, you're going to be prepared for every other team at least, even if you get blown out. It's about prepared for your conference, and I really like them, man. 9-3, you can see the prediction, and I just got to losing to Texas, UNLV, Boise, probably. I don't see him beating either one of them teams, honestly.
I agree.
Crazy that happen. I like both of them teams a lot, but Leland Smith though, I like Leland Smith from Purdue. I like that. I like that they got him. They needed a receiver after Nick Nash left.
Yeah, and then obviously they got Floyd Chalk coming back the fourth. He is a dog.
Good season last year.
Yeah, they had 2 backs last year, but obviously Floyd Chalk's going to be that premier back this year. So very cool. San Jose State, I love their stadium. Like I said, they're growing on me. I like how they don't start their conference schedule until a good couple tests. So obviously the hard test at Texas, easy game at Idaho State. You get to turn around and flex your muscle. And then you got another game where you're not going to be favored with Stanford, but you can still come away with the win.
Hey,
and then you roll into Mountain West Conference play straight. Your team identity. You've already learned from mistakes, and you've had a good opponent to kind of beat up on. So I do like the format.
Stanford might be the worst Power 4 team this year.
I agree. I mean, it's all. I mean, it's became pro athletics overnight, but some of these schools we're going to see how much they value academics if they're going to be cool with going 3 and whatever, 4 and whatever,
I mean,
and have it upsets.
It can be done though. You can have good academics and sports. Florida and Duke, both of them are really good at. Duke's good at everything now. All of a sudden, I mean, they're good, they're good at baseball and football now too. So I mean, Duke and Florida is proof that you can be a great academic school and still be really good at sports. So that's just honestly, I think it's an excuse.
I feel it. I think with just some of them, it's just hard to get them in. Like Tulane's kind of in that thing where they don't have the money, and it's kind of hard to get in that school. Stanford, obviously, being one of those. Let me think. What's another one that's kind of
Vandy.
There you go. Perfect example. Vandy in the SEC. Do you think they'd be just have guys flocking in? But no, it's not.
They're good
Purdue as well.
They're good at everything now too, right? I mean, they made the tournament. They made the tournament. They made a bowl.
No, I don't count. I mean, sure, if that's good for them.
That's good. Top 25 year in baseball.
It's good for Vanderbilt for football, like what they did last year, but it's still not. in the sphere of good overall, like in the umbrella. So I mean, yeah, steps in the right direction, but I don't know.
Oh,
I don't like Pavia either. I don't think he's
I
that
like what
guy.
Barkley is doing though. I do like
Who-
what he's doing. Their
I
coach.
they have. I mean, I do too. I think they have guys in the right culture there. But like you said, once you kind of are still being a stickler on who gets in your school and who doesn't, it's hard to keep up with the Joneses when they can just bring out the bigger wallet.
That's true. But yeah, I like San Jose State this year, 9-3, good year. I thought they were better than that last year. I would have guessed. I think 7-6 is they 3-4 in the conference. I thought they had a better year than Nash last year.
Yeah, and then obviously, like you said, you mentioned Fresno State, always going to be swarming around the top of the Mountain West, always, no matter who they got. We've seen them have Carr in the back, in the past, we've seen them have Devontae in the back, Devontae Adams for my Green Bay Packers. Always having solid guys, always having NFL talent. But what do you think about their season going in? And here's their prediction. We got 8-4 here. You're
I
muted.
know. All right, my bad. Kurt Warner's son coming in from Rice, EJ Warner. I like him just because he's Kurt Warner's son. Hasn't had a great career yet. This would be the best team he's played on, though, talent wise. So he could definitely take a step up. Corey Foreman, USC transfer, was a top 5 or 10 recruit coming out. Still hasn't really produced. Last year he only had 3.5 sacks, but it's his potential still. It's still there. Corey Foreman might break out this year.
Yeah, and then like you said, they have some guys good coming in, but they're pretty much relying on a lot of the returning guys because they have 102 starts combined returning, only 16 starts, that they've added. So they're going to be doing a kind of a mixture. Some guys that haven't proved themselves that's coming from bigger programs, like you mentioned, and then some guys that they've already been around the program. I like it, man. I think 8-4 is a pretty solid. We could very well see that be a 9-3 if a couple of the other these teams kind of slip up, and you never know. Obviously, we tote Boise State, we toot their horn, but it's any given Saturday, you never know.
The first 3 games are really intriguing to me.
Yeah, yeah,
All 3
Kansas,
of
that would
those
be.
games, man. Georgia Southern game should be a great, great battle.
Yeah, we got Georgia Southern. That was we've already covered their conference there. We got Georgia Southern coming in second, right?
Second or third, and maybe third. Because you had somebody else winning the conference.
I had Arkansas State,
Yeah, Arkansas State. Oh, I think we did have. I think I
Sun
had.
Belt.
I think
Yeah,
I had. I think I
we
had
were
him second.
going over Sun Belt. Yeah, yeah, and you had him number two.
I had him two, and you had him one. Yeah, or something. Yeah, yeah, that's what happened. But I like that Kansas game's gonna be great. Jalen Daniels didn't play good last year. See if he can bounce back week 1. But if not, Fresno, they could run off 6 or 7 to start the year if they win that Kansas game.
Yeah, I swear. It's all about starting hot. We've seen that. We've seen teams start hot and they get on a roll. We've seen teams start real cold and it kind of lingered throughout the whole season. So,
They don't got to play UNLV either, so pretty good schedule conference wise.
yeah, it's favorable. It's favorable. I think they might slip a spot up as well, but
They actually finished third. They could.
they could finish third, and then we'll see pretty much anyone out of the top 5. Air Force is rounding out our top 5, but I think anyone outside the top 5 of the Mountain West is going to be beating up on each other, right? I mean, you're pretty much just fighting and just cannibalism at that point.
Outside
But
of New Mexico, I think they're just really bad.
yeah, yeah, true. I think we'll get into them. You can see at the bottom of the screen, but it's only 2 wins on the projection. So Bucknell starting for Air Force. Then they go on the road to Utah State, and then Boise State at home. Obviously, we'll have Boise State in that, but Boise State could come out of that pretty bruised and battered.
Oh, absolutely. And then you look down the schedule later, back to back weeks at Navy at UNLV. Really tough, really tough. Middle 2 weeks right there for a group of 5 team. I know both of them are group of 5 too, but Navy's really good, and I don't know. I hope they go. If they go 1-1 in that 2 games, that's maybe a really good stretch for Air Force. I'm
Yeah,
just looking for them to bounce back though. Dylan Carson
about
at running back, and Peyton Jadrok, great year last year at D line. He had like 10.5 tackles for loss, 11.5, something like that. So I'm excited to see this team. Josh Johnson, the quarterback, coming in. We talked about him, me and you, just because his name.
yeah,
NFL quarterback, Josh Johnson. He's looks like your premier like option quarterback. He threw like 20 passes in his career, like 10 of them are touchdowns, but like 3 of them are picks. So it's like, what are you going to get out of this guy? He's going to just have the season for him, I think.
I agree. And like you said, that's going to round out our top five. Like you said, you just want to see them turn around. They had a 5-7 record last
Yeah,
year, 3-4 in the conference. We're going to see Cade Harris, see what he can do at wide receiver. Like you said, option quarterback. But if you can kind of have a couple plays built in there for some play actions to keep your defense guessing there on some third downs, take a shot on a couple first downs. That with these teams that run the option, if you could have two to three go-to pass plays, that's kind of the make or break on a couple more wins on the season usually.
Oh, absolutely, I agree, man. And the service academies have been throwing better every year. Like a little bit better, not a lot, but
Yeah.
it's slow progression. So especially last year at Bryson Daly and Army, but Air Force, man, I really look for them to bounce back this year. They have a lot of continuity, and that's what it's about with service academies. Continuity. And Cade Harris also is a huge weapon. He's not just a receiver. Runs a lot of jet sweeps. They'll use him, screen guy. He's just really athletic out there. He's probably their best guy in space on the whole team. So if they get him the ball a lot this year, I like it. And their defense is always going to be, solid, not great, but they'll always be
Always.
top 30, top 40 defense in the country. So if they get enough points, avoid turnover bug, they can surprise some teams. But 7-5 is a solid year for a service academy every time.
Yeah, and then like you said, most teams I say with college, they say what's the race to 30 or something like that. A lot of times, who can score 30 in a lot of these games with Air Force and a lot of the other service academy teams and just run heavy. Sometimes it's the race to what 24.
21,
Sometimes, yeah,
yeah.
21, 24.
Yeah.
You never know because they like to eat that clock, and with a good defense and a team that's just staying alive, getting third down after third down conversion,
You
you
remember
never
that
know what's
Army
going to
drive
happen.
last year against Marshall? 99. It was like a 13-minute
Yeah,
drive.
yeah,
13 minutes. That's
yeah.
what they can do to you. That's what these service academies can do to you. First and 10, second and 6, third and 2, fourth and 1, first down. 20
We
plays, 25
We
plays.
see we see all the big dogs take the page out of their book as well. We've seen in the national championship, Ohio State did the same thing
Yeah,
with Will Howard. They went
down.
on like a 10-minute drive. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's as a defense, it's so backbreaking.
frustrating. It makes you mad.
I'd rather give up a 50-yard bomb. We're off the field. All right, let's regroup.
Yeah,
Not
because
20-play drive, man. It's just, we're so close to stopping them, and you just can't get off the field. It's so frustrating to play a team like that.
and when every time that happens, it seems like what 5 first down conversions usually around when those really long drives around
Oh,
there.
yeah,
Okay, so say the D line gives up one, the linebackers give up the other one, the corners give up another one. It's not like you can't point the finger at just one. It's everybody messed up along the way, and then they can kind of dismantle a defense from there. So that's a good point. I think, and they're going to try to do it again, what they've always done, and have a better year. No transfers to speak of, obviously, since they're not using the transfer portal. So we're going to see how they fare this year. Colorado State's our next team on the Mountain West here. 6-6 is what we had them, I believe. We're going to see if they can try to steal one, become a positive record, but we'll see. They got a guy who has some cool name at quarterback. What's his name here?
Fowler,
Nicolosi.
Fowler Nicolosi.
Fowler Nicolosi. Yes, yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
everybody knows him. Famous from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, him and Shadur.
And then they did hold their own. I mean, they took it
They
over.
did.
So
Oh, that was one of the best games of the year.
right. So I mean, I respect him, but he just hasn't really taken the next step since that year, man.
I agree. I think yes, that was the last time we've seen them in the headlines. Now, I know obviously we're not used to seeing Colorado State in the headlines, but we're not used to seeing them as well. I think 8-5 last year,
Yeah,
so
but I
good
think
year.
in the Mountain West
Yeah,
though.
as I say, good year, good year. 6-1 in the Mountain West, but we think that's going to be a totally different year. We think this is UNLV with getting Dan Mullins definitely playing a factor into those 6 losses that we think are going to happen. So let's go ahead and bring up this again. We kind of skimmed through it really quick. We got Washington State. That's going to be a harder game than a lot of people think. September 27th. Hawaii, October 18th. That's going to be a home game. Probably that'll be a dub. But any of these games here that you think they can steal, Dom?
Washington State would be the one I would point to. They lost a lot, Mateer and the coach. I forgot his name, but they lost. Their coach went to Oklahoma though to BLC.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
They lost a lot, man. Hopefully they can rebound. They always have a quarterback seemingly, so maybe they just have another one in the chamber ready to have a Mateer like year. Luke Falk, Connor Holiday,
Luke
Gardner Minshew,
Falk.
keep going. So they're really good. They always have quarterbacks, but if they don't this year, Colorado State got a chance. They're always battle you at least.
Yeah, for
Mr.
sure.
Moss is a really good running back too. One of the best running backs in the conference.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of guys, like you said, get on our draft boards. We have Draft Professor, their draft boards so deep. We've been, kind of getting the high school scouting and high school prospects wrapped up. So we're our big board is growing, but obviously it's not deep than a lot of people. We're gonna see a lot of these guys get on our big board, no matter what their team's record is, because a lot of these guys are diamond in the roughs.
Oh
So
yeah,
next team here we have that's first losing record here we have with Colorado State going 6-6. We did predict San Diego State to go 5-7. So Jaden Dinegal from Michigan is going to be their quarterback transfer. So Christian Washington from Coastal Carolina.
yeah, he's
So
elite.
yeah, big programs, and then I love the Grand Valley State guy from Miles King, the edge rusher here.
Oh yeah, yeah. He had a huge productive year last year. I hope they can step it
Lakers.
up. But Trey White is probably the best player in this conference.
Okay, I love that. I love that statement. Yeah, he's going to be in a lot of people's big board. Obviously, linebackers is arguably the deepest position in this class. But what are you thinking here overall? We're going to look at their schedule, and instead of just seeing all the teams they can, the games they can lose, we're going to see if we can find a game they can steal here. So a lot of these conferences, every team is going to be aiming at Boise State and trying to trip them up along the way. But is there another team that we think they can get a steal against? Possibly California. Never know.
They may be Cal, bro. I mean, what's Cal got? They lost so much to the portal. They lost more than any other team, probably three or
I
the
agree.
top four running backs or something. Mikey Matthews, receiver. Mason Starling, receiver. Mendoza to Indiana. Jack Injuries left to go to Texas. They lost their whole offense. So this early in the year, if San Diego State plays defense like they usually do, that's their calling card always. They can never really score. I don't know the last time they had a good quarterback. Probably Ryan Lindley. They haven't had a
Yeah.
good quarterback since, bro.
No.
So maybe Denigo can step up, but we still got him improving by 2 games from last year, you know. So I mean,
True.
step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And like you said, everybody can't win. They're going to be beating up on each other on this bottom half, with this being the first team we have in the losing record. So, Corey Daly, our quarterback there out of Texas, he's actually offered by San Diego State, was one of his latest offers. So, shout out to him. And, man, San Diego State, holler at Corey Daly. He can get you maybe a couple more wins here.
Yeah,
Um,
they need a guy they can build around. They haven't had a guy.
that's
But
our
like I said,
guy.
White man, double digit sacks last year, 21 and a half tackles for loss. One of the best linebackers in the country. He can carry that defense. Just score 21, 24 a game, and you can win. They might be able to surprise some people in the Mountain West for sure.
I agree. And a team we've always been getting surprised by, Wyoming. Your guy Josh Allen. You were on him back when he was at
Was on
Wyoming. You were
already.
on him. You were on him. And we've seen them have some good, like linebackers, DNs, some
Definitely
DBs.
linebackers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Carl
They're
Baker's in the NFL right now from the Saints. Great DN actually. Nobody
yeah.
talks about him.
They're front eight and defense in Wyoming. I'll take me a one Wyoming player probably pretty much every year, every other year, and wouldn't be mad with it. So before we get into their prediction, let's see if a game we could possibly see if they can steal versus Utah. Obviously, Cam Rising is officially retired. No more Cam Rising drama at Utah.
Devin
Um,
Dampier, though.
I know, I know. Could that be so? You think that's a game? What's the chances of them even possibly stealing that game there, Utah?
I think Utah's way better than last year.
Okay, okay.
Utah's here. We talk about the
All
Big 12.
right.
We talk about the Big 12. I'm a hype Utah up a little bit.
Love it.
They still got Willingham. The only problem was their quarterback room. They were waiting for Rising. Now they know he ain't coming. They got the best running quarterback in the nation last year. I think Wyoming can't contain Dampier running the ball. He ran for 1,700 yards last year. So, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
he's crazy. You can watch him Dampier film, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna. I can't wait till we get into the Big 12, like you said, with our
Well,
scouting and
one of my favorites.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Now, I did watch some film. Yeah, Kelman from Charlotte because one of the quarterbacks we're watching just transfer or committed to Charlotte. So Charlotte's are going to be a respectable program. Obviously, they left Biff Poggi, so you're going to see some guys kind of scatter because Biff Poggi, he's a character guy. Kind of reminds me of a Coach O at Orgeron, just
Favorite
a
coach
grit.
in the country.
Yeah, he's one of the favorite. Yeah, and I think he is OC or O line somewhere now. But shout out to him. So Teron Kelman came from Biff Poggi, where he found a new home in Wyoming. We're gonna see what he's gonna do. Justin Taylor came from Wisconsin. A lot of DBs trains from Wisconsin. It's kind of weird
He
that we've
did
seen.
good for Jameer Spain.
Jameer Scott. Yeah, our boy Jameer Scott from Mount Healthy, freshman at
I mean,
Wisconsin. A lot of guys that entered the portal before the spring semester and during. So
I looked at
we're gonna see.
the depth chart today. He's on the 3 deep right now. So It's
Yeah,
a great start.
as a true freshman, man, at Wisconsin, he's one of the guys. If you look on our page, we have a interview with when he was in high school last year. Absolute dog, Jameer Scott.
Hey, Galen Bortville, I don't just like his name. He had 600 yards last year at tight end, and for college, that's so much for a tight end. He
A lot.
might have a great year this year. Just if he can get a guy throwing him the ball.
And a lot of those times when you have that many receptions or targets as a tight end, usually your yards per catch is probably astronomical, or yards after contact, usually a win-win.
Yeah, I don't know about their quarterback still. You know, you got to have
Yeah.
a quarterback, and they're still looking for one. I think they don't got a stud yet.
I agree. A couple of these teams are looking for their stud in recruiting or in the transfer portal. Another one's Hawaii. They're looking for a guy that can kind of, get the helms there, get the reins, and take them to back where they used to be. Obviously, there's stuff standing in the way with recruiting, with money, with a stadium, stuff like that. But we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Kind of getting down to the bottom of the list where they're kind of beating up on each other here. We got them going 4-8 this year. We did have them getting UCLA quarterback DeMarcus Davis. No stats, obviously. You're pretty much just looking at, all right, this guy transferred from a big program, so he could be good for them. But what do you think about the running rainbows here?
Nothing exciting. You know, they're so boring right now. Davis has potential as a dual threat guy, but we just haven't seen it yet. So right now they're just so vanilla right now. There's nothing to get excited about. John Benton had a good year last year in Mexico, interconference transfer, but they'll never get carried by their defense. Let's be real. Their defense has always struggled. I'm not sure
Always.
why, but it always has. But Pofil Ashlock, man, great year last year, 800 yards. See if you can go over 1,000 this year. I wouldn't be surprised with Davis coming in, but they might try to run the ball a little more than usual.
They should. They should try to eat up some of that clock. We've seen Hawaiians for so many years, like you said, being shootouts late night. You've been watching football all day, falling asleep, and you watching Hawaii, and it's 38 points with 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Right? They're
I
not
mean,
30
we've seen, yeah,
nowadays.
we've seen that so many times, and we wouldn't be surprised if we see that again. But it's just good to see them competitive and good, and for past couple years now, they've been kind of a cupcake team on the schedule. So
I really
another,
like. Yeah, they're one of my favorite mid majors, honestly.
yeah, I
I
think,
wish they were
yeah, I
good.
agree.
I wish they were good.
I agree. It's weird that they don't have a green jersey right now. Yeah, they don't think they have like a green jersey they wear on the reg, which is
What?
really weird. Really weird.
Then we
But
got.
they just have black and white. And they
Well,
have
then while we're talking jerseys, you know how many freaking baseball jerseys PRP has?
oh yeah, 13, 12 or 13?
16.
16 right now.
That's
That's
crazy. You see
crazy.
the new ones, bro?
No.
Oh my god.
No.
It's like the St. Louis Cardinals,
Okay.
the baseball bat.
Yeah, yeah.
Cardinals Panthers holding the baseball bat.
Oh.
Oh, it's so far. But anyways, Utah State now. They're a team that you always hear about them for some reason, but
They
they're never
always they
never.
always have what they always do. They always have a quarterback for whatever week it is, early in the year, middle of the year, whatever. They have a quarterback that throws for like 500 yards one game and for like 8 touchdowns, and then he doesn't do it again. He just doesn't throw for over like 300 for the rest of the year. I feel like we always see for schools like them in Nevada, they always have like a crazy stat game from a couple of their guys, and then they just kind of fizzle off from there. But
Well,
they got
Barnes,
some New Mexico transfers and a BYU transfer. Miles Davis from BYU, he's good.
I like Miles Davis. Bryson Barnes is such a breakout candidate to me, though. Last 2 games of the year, he ran for 150 plus both games. He's such a good running quarterback, but he can layer the ball too. Utah transfer, he had a big pedigree coming out of high school. He finally picked it up at the end of the year last year. If he carries it on, they could definitely go 7-5.
I put Brock Lane on here. I think he's a potential breakout as well. Tight end.
Okay, I
Watch
haven't
out for this guy.
watched
Okay, yeah, watch out for this guy. He's kind of reminds me of kind of a George Kittle.
him. Okay,
Kind of a George Kittle a little bit. He can kind of do everything, athlete out there. Man, yeah, I liked him. So that's the guy added on there. I think he's going to be a real stud. And like you said, you never know. They might be able to steal a couple more games than we think here. That's why we didn't predict the
oh for
actual
sure. I wish they played
conference.
this year. I would love to see Bryson Barnes play Utah. Barnes versus Dampier would be appointment television. Actually, which quarterback can run for 200 yards? That would be fun.
True.
But A&M early, Air Force after that. 2 tough starts to the year after UTEP, but at Vandy too. Non-conference schedule, A&M and Vandy's pretty tough.
I know. That's respectable though, because we're
Yeah,
gonna see we're gonna see more and more of that. I think with the I guess we got to call it like the CBA, right? The new House Junction, the new House rules. Uh, I don't think we're gonna see too many FCS teams playing FBS anymore. Hopefully, I just don't see the point anymore. So I think we're gonna see way more of these Mountain West Sun Belt teams playing SEC Big Tens.
I hope
Uh,
so, bro.
I
Like,
think so.
I hate playing FCS schools. Like,
I know.
we're playing like Long Island or something week 1.
Oh, Alabama! There's nothing more boring than a Week 8 Alabama Morgan State game.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
No, it's
just
that. Well, the SEC used to do that like in the year. Yeah, I don't think we do it anymore.
yeah. There's no reason. Yeah, you're right. SEC would do it Week 8. I know. I think you all
Or
did
later
last
than
year.
that. It was like week 13.
Yeah, I think you all still do it kind of late.
I
You probably don't do it as late as you used to, but still do it later than everyone else, possibly.
think this
But
year we play our FCS team first, actually. But I don't
good.
know. I
That'd be
like that's
good.
how it should be. If you play FCS team, play them first, just to
Yeah.
get your plays down, get in the right spots, that kind of thing. But I've honestly never been a fan of playing a tough team first week. I actually hate it.
Yeah, I know it's hard. It's hard, and all
Well,
these
like,
teams are gonna have.
I mean, that was terrible.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then a lot of these back to teams are going to have pretty much uphill battle from start to finish. Doesn't matter where you're at. One of these last teams is a 2-10 prediction we have for Nevada. They got Chuba Purdy, so cool name. I mean, he's on the first page of all name team. Chuba Purdy.
I
I
like
mean,
Turbo, man. I told
yeah,
you about him, Florida State transfer.
love
Huge
it.
recruit coming out. Went to Nebraska for a while. Just never really got playing time. Never got a real shot. But he played here a little bit last year at the end of the year. Stepped in for Brendan Lewis after the injury, and he played pretty well. If he can get a full year on him, I just don't love their weapons, man. Rimpert being the number one receiver.
Personnel. It's all about Jimmys and Joes, man.
Najee Logan, I mean, he's from Indiana, but he didn't really play last year. They talked about him like he was good. I've seen some things that he was saying about him, but a big loss or whatever. But he wasn't projected to even start this year either. So.
Good PR. Good PR by
Yeah, I
Signetti.
think
Good
that's what it
PR.
was. But either way, Nevada's just. I'm ready for them to get good again too. They used to be 8-4, 9-3 every year. Kaepernick, they had guys.
The pistol offense. One of the few teams that ran the pistol offense to a
Cody
T every year.
Fajardo. If anybody remembers Cody Fajardo, let me know.
Yeah, the
He was
comments. Let us know.
fire quarterback there. They've seen a good quarterback, man. Brendan Lewis actually had a good year last year. He just couldn't stay healthy. And they went 3-10, 0-7 in the conference last year.
Yeah, that's not a good look, man. Last team here is not a good look as well with a 2-10 prediction we have,
I think
which rounding out the worst of the conference here.
this team's
Unfortunately, is New Mexico.
yeah, 5-7 last year. That's good for them, honestly. But Hall left after 1 year. That's how good of a job he did. He got hired. Forgot where he went, but Utah State, yeah, in conference.
Yeah,
Hall going to Utah State. But this team, look at their transfers. They're all from FCS schools, man.
yeah,
They're relying on FCS players to step up huge this year. Jack Lame.
yeah. And I don't know if that's his brother there that plays tight end for who I just brought up there. Was it on San Diego State or
Rock Lane.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his brother or not, but we'll see.
There's
But
L-A-N-E and L-A-Y-N-E.
yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, like you said though, it's good when Nevada's better. We're used to seeing them having a high-powered offense. But let's go back to the non-conference games as we just beat up the conference here because there is going to be some sparks flying and some potential upsets here. I do really love if you have to choose two. Let's cut this in half. Give me the two most, I guess, likely upsets that we're going to have non-conference.
Give me UNLV and San Jose State, man.
Ooh, so you
You,
got you. So you
yeah,
have UNLV over UCLA, and you have San Jose State over Stanford.
I don't actually. I'm not gonna pick UNLV over them, but they got a good
Mm.
chance. Probably 55-45.
Okay, okay,
So yeah, it's kind of a toss-up game to me.
but they have the best chance, you'd say, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Boise's chance is probably 15%, maybe 20.
I
I just
agree.
I like Maddox Madsen, but I don't see that game take it over the game when you need a drive
I
and
don't. I don't.
turn around and get to GT anymore.
I don't.
So Malik Sherrod's a good back, but he's definitely not GT. So I just don't think they have enough firepower. But they will definitely hang around that game. But San Jose State, like I said, I'm taking them.
Okay, I like it. I think I'll piggyback right there. I love it. I think those are the two best ones. I think Boise State's going to put up a heck of a fight against the Fighting Irish, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get the dub. But
Air Force got a chance too, of course. They always got a chance in those Service Academy games. But I just think Bryson Daly's too much. He's the best option quarterback we've seen in years, man.
Love it, love it. I think we're gonna
Uh,
see a lot of quarterbacks come up from the woodwork this year. We had, if you look on our X, our Twitter, whatever you want to call it, we just put a list on the quarterbacks, every single quarterback that transferred from FBS to FCS. And then we obviously have the opposite as well from FCS. Some of these guys that came up trying to ball out. Ole Miss got one. Calzada is going to be starting at Kentucky. And a couple of these guys here might be going to P5 land or P4, whatever you want to call it, next year out of some big play. So
Definitely.
let's round out the predictions here. Obviously, for anyone that's kind of tuned in at the end or came in after we went over it. So obviously, we had Boise State, UNLV coming in at second, San Jose State at three. Very strong three right here. A very slept on three. And then we have Fresno State at four, Air Force at five in that top five. And after that, you got the last team with the even record there at 6-6 with number six, Colorado State. So
So
San Diego State as well, Wyoming, Hawaii, Utah State, and then Nevada and New Mexico.
I got to say something about this conference real quick.
Let's hear it.
I think they passed the AAC.
Ooh,
The AAC is not good anymore.
that's bold.
East
I
Carolina,
Yeah.
Temple. I mean, those East Carolina, Temple, Memphis lost Hennigan and a lot of other guys.
Oh God, Hennigan.
I don't think they'll be the same. I mean, they lost Houston and Cincinnati, the bigger conference. I just don't think they have the Jimmys and Joes the Mountain West does right now.
You know what? I kind of agree. When me and you was going through this Mountain West, we're like, we're going to see a lot of guys really get on a lot of boards here, whether it be quarterback play, and then or just cornerstone pieces and foundation pieces as well. I think you've made a lot of good points as well. I think this is going to be a high-powered conference. We chose this conference, one of our first ones, because the Sun Belt Conference, good conference, but that bottom half, man, it got to the points where we're just,
On the bottom half, yeah.
yeah, we're searching and searching for guys that are going to be ballers. But
Well, there's
Mountain
no
West.
production on the last 4 or 5 teams. It was all transfers and just backups last year. They lost
Yeah.
almost every starter. Yeah, some belt teams did. So
Yep. And then we're gonna have our DBs dropping on our page here. We're gonna be doing
yeah,
that tomorrow. So our top DBs are gonna be coming out. We're gonna be doing a conference every week. Me and Dalton, we got you covered. We got special guests coming in from the draft professors. We got Randall coming in. We got Bill Sparks coming in down the line. Either it's gonna be college some content or just a conference preview. He's gonna be coming on, and then yeah, we got plenty of guys. We have our boy, our writer, Mark. He's going to be coming in for our Mac preview. He's working on some great stuff for the Mac preview.
the Akron
Can't,
preview was great.
yeah, can't wait to preview the Mac, get some action going on. And then we're going to be kind of going chronologically as in, importance and bigger conferences. We'll do P4 the last 4 weeks leading up to the season. And then going to
Yeah,
have some.
show. Get ready for a marathon. Get your popcorn ready. I'm talking all night on that one. So
Yeah, I can't wait for Big Ten, man. I cannot wait for, like you said, you're probably gonna annihilate the ACC. You'll probably talk about how bad the ACC is, which is okay, because you know me, I'm a big ACC fan. Love me some ACC. I think Dalton's frozen here in time, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and get this fixed. I think a big thing we're going to see from the ACC. I've been a big proponent. We got Bill Belichick coming in here, first year in the ACC. Dalton's, like I said, is going to be annihilating them all preseason, all regular season, all
I
post.
am going to annihilate them because Clemson's about to dominate that conference this year. They're running through every team they played this year, and that
Run
counts.
through.
That's including Louisville. That's including Miami. It's including any team in the ACC. Man, I'm not even a hater. They're just way better than the other teams. T.J. Parker and Peter Woods and Clay Klubnik and Antonio Williams. Gee,
If anybody's due, it's Dabo Sweeney. I will say that. Cade Klubnik has grown. He's grown on me so much throughout this off season. I will say, Aller has kind of dropped down, and Klubnik and Nussmeier's kind of been rising as well. Can't wait till we
I
go
don't
over
like
the.
how he plays LSU. I don't like him. We beat him last year. He's not amazing.
I know, and I can't wait till we get to our quarterback scouting because we're going to be doing that as well with our conference scouting as well. But I'm glad you bring up Clemson because I think it's going to be a really big year for Dabo. I just think I want to see better play calling from him. I want to see him set up Cade Klubnik for the best pro career, as in get a little bit of under center going in there. with Dabo is one of those last coaches we have. I'm not a Dabo fan, but he's one of the last coaches we have. It's like, all right, I'm old school. I run this old school, and it's the program and yada yada, old school college football. But he doesn't play his game like that. His game on the field is hella spread. It's like Auburn, just nothing, no smash mouth, no old school plays. I don't know. It's kind of weird. What do you think about that? Am I
Uh,
crazy?
no, their offensive system has been a little like that. I mean, they had Maffa last year. He was a bit of a power back, but they didn't really, route him. You're right. So Will Shipley was the back before. They've always had a lot of pass catching backs, kind of more in the scat back kind of type, like C.J.
Yeah.
Spiller, Andre Ellington went there from
Hey,
where Cardinals. So
CJ Spiller was the first Clemson player that I loved, and then Taj Boyd, right?
my favorite was actually Jacoby Ford.
Ooh, I like Jacoby
He was
Ford.
so fast. He was like
Love
four.
I love Jacoby Ford on the Raiders. Love
Yeah, that's what
just
I'm talking about. The Raiders. Yeah, one
yeah,
of my
that's what I think. I just think of Raiders every time I think of him.
favorite players in the league when he played because he was just so fast. He wasn't that great, but the Raiders. I missed the Raiders when Al Davis was drafted. He was just drafted fastest player every round.
Yeah, Al Davis was
Not
fun. He
forever, but it was fun. They
It
drafted
was fun.
they drafted Tawan Jones. I remember out of Eastern Washington, he ran like a 4.24 running back, third round. Nobody else even had him on the board, so he just cared about speed. He drafted Hayward Bay first round.
Darius Hayward Bay, what a guy.
So yeah, I missed the old Raiders. The way they used to draft was so funny.
I know. I loved him. And yeah, McFadden. I thought McFadden was going to be so good for the Raiders.
Really, I was actually right about him. I thought he was going to be average, and he was. He's too like he had too big of a target zone.
Yeah. He
He
ran
ran
really high.
high
Yes, he ran really high, and when, there's obviously running backs that get away with running high. We've seen Ashton Jeanty back in the day. We see like guys like Eric Dickerson, Edgerrin James is maybe like one of them that kind of
Yeah,
ran high as well. I love those upright runners. Those are one of my favorites, just because they're really sneaky. Because usually they're taller guys, longer, and they're usually the most sneaky speed. Right, those guys you don't expect to be
for
fast, and then
sure.
oh my god, they go around the corner. You think the linebacker's got the angle, and they just take off
For sure.
so many times. So that's good. Good stuff there, man. On the Mountain West preview, I think we covered a lot there, and good time as well. So we
You
can
give
kind of
yourself the preview. I
yeah,
mean, if I'm
we can,
wrong, let us know what we need to do better.
yeah,
We always take that, compliments or criticism either way. So, yeah,
yep.
whatever makes it better. But I think we did a solid preview, man. I mean, we covered the basics. You don't want to, if you get too much in depth right now, you're gonna be wrong about stuff because there's still too
Yeah,
much of the offseason. Like, you know what I mean? So if you go too much in depth, you're gonna be wrong about a lot of things. We don't want to do that. We just want to, we're just painting you a nice picture.
we've seen a lot of guys, even from guys that we played with in high school, like our teammate Taywan Taylor. He had a big senior year, right? Like
Oh,
if we tried to project where he was going to do after his junior year, nobody was projected that he was going to be a third round pick, all time leading receiver at a D1 program. So we never knew that that was going to happen until his senior year. He had a breakout senior year. A lot of these guys are going to do the same in college. So you really can't call too much there. You can't be a fortune teller too much because there's so much tape that has to get out there. You see guys get drafted off 4 or 5 games, and a couple of these guys are going to put 10 more games on the tape. So much tape that's going to be coming out this season that we get to dissect and kind of do position rankings. It's always going to change. This stuff changes all the way up until draft day. We always see that. So we're going to see what happens. It ebbs and it flows, and that's the best thing about football. And but we like to talk about it now because hey, football is what off season, because we have recruiting coming in. Like we said, our boy Corey Daly at Texas State this past weekend, and he is at Pitt right now. He is at Pitt taking his official visit. So pretty crazy stuff he's got to offer from Pitt. He might end up there. He might stay home in Texas. We don't know. But Corey Daly's a heck of a player. Go on our page if you want to see Corey Daly's highlights. Because what a guy, 6'6", and just heck of a cannon arm. Got checks all the boxes. Good attitude. And comes from a really good 3-sport athlete as well. He's a good pitcher. He plays basketball. He does the strikeout. He can windmill on the baseline, and he can throw a touchdown. So look out for Corey Daly. His highlights are on our page. You think some bigger schools are going to come in and get into play with Corey Daly?
I don't see why they wouldn't. I
Why
really
they're
don't
doing.
see. I don't see why he has the frame, he has the arm, and he has the off-field mindset. So that's all you need in a quarterback is those three things. You can teach him other things, you know. So I would be all up on. I'd be all over him if Florida didn't already have freaking four quarterbacks, you know.
Yeah, y'all got a stable. A lot of these guys are having stables. I'm glad you brought that up because
Depending,
a,
yeah.
a guy that's on our uncommitted list, Landon Duckworth, he's on everybody's list. One of the nation's top quarterbacks. He's down to his last two. He's down to South Carolina and Auburn. I want to get your thoughts because Auburn obviously has Deuce Knight. He's a true freshman this year. We don't know if he'll redshirt. It's pretty much all signs pointing towards South Carolina, right? They're probably going to get a huge recruit here.
But they got your boy Nolan as well. Aaron
Who?
Nolan.
Oh yeah, Aaron Nolan from
So,
Ohio
I
State.
mean, either way,
That was really confusing, that transfer for me. Why would you go from QB2 to go QB2? I don't understand.
Sellers is gone
Um,
this year.
Sellers is going to be fighting for QB1, and he's got the eligibility left
That's why
over.
he's leaving after this year. So Purdy, he only got to sit on the bench 1 year. Sayan's not going to leave after this year. He's a redshirt freshman. He can't. So I think that's it. You know, not to set 1 year instead of two. I mean,
True.
that's all I got.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But it's like I just think
And your boy, he might
if
have been third string at Ohio State. They like Conholes, Lincoln Conholes a lot. The junior.
And if I mean, we've seen him at Elite 11. We've seen Julian Sayin, and Aaron Nolan came up, and they came and watched Tavian St. Clair. So you got to add him in the mix as well. Tavian St.
Oh,
Clair. He's
too.
gonna be, yeah,
Sure.
he's gonna be fighting for the starting job next year. So yeah, it's confusing. I think Aaron Nolan, if Landon Duckworth commits to South Carolina, I think it pretty much solidifies. Like he's gonna be a bridge quarterback, right?
If,
No
no,
way.
Aaron Nolan, no, I don't. Yeah, exactly. Aaron
But
Nolan.
no way Aaron Nolan's making more money. We gotta bring the money thing into this now. Aaron Nolan's no way he's gonna be making more money than Landon Duckworth walking in, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's probably true. I just don't think either one of them are great fits. So if we're being honest, I
I
think
think yeah,
Darnold's only a sophomore. He could stay for 3 years.
he's gonna be a redshirt sophomore this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he can stay for 3 years if he's good. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really love either decision, but I hope it works out best for him. Man. I
I
mean, I'm sure
think
he's got his due diligence, and
if I'm Sellers, if I'm not solidified at quarterback two at least, I'm coming back to
I
get an
feel
extra
that.
4 million.
Could
I'm
you
not
imagine?
sure what he's getting at South Carolina. I'm sure it's really good, but
Could you imagine if Sellers and Arch come back 1 more year, and you got Sellers, Arch, and Lagway third-year starters in the SEC in 2026? That would be amazing.
yeah,
I hope they do come back. I would love to see Sellers, Arch, and Lagway on the same
telling you,
like
bro.
same page.
I since this last recruiting cycle, I've been beating the drum. You have been hearing me as well. You've been reiterating the same thing. How how deep this quarterback class that came in this freshman wave, and then this next one coming in is just as deep, maybe a little bit deeper because we've gotten to scout 350, 400 quarterbacks in the past 2 months, 2.5 months, and the amount of guys that are coming in through G5 programs, P5. We got our boy Terry Walker coming at Duke. Shout out to Terry Walker. He's at Elite 11 finals right now. They just started. We're hoping they take 20 into Elite 11. They come out with 11. They rank them for 111. And I have no doubt that Terry Walker is going to be making that top 11.
Oh, me either. If he don't, they're probably tripping. That's
I
all.
swear.
That's all I'm gonna say about it.
We'd seen him. He got his invite late. So better late than never. But it was very surprising he didn't get his, same day. We see a lot of the guys get theirs same day, but he ended up getting his. Here's our boy Terry Walker,
Oh,
stud, just
he's better
absolute
than the
stud.
guys that had to offer before him. I'm not gonna mention no names. Don't do that here, but he's definitely better than some of the other guys
Right.
on that list that had to invite first. I'll throw that out there.
I agree. He's
I mean,
he's yeah.
this kid's awesome between the ears too, man. We had an interview with him. If you haven't got to check that out, he's just for being a high schooler. He's so good at the interviews, man. And we run into some problems, like they ain't used to talking. They ain't had the class yet. This guy, he's a natural at talking, and as a quarterback, man, that actually means so much. Any other position, you can get away with it. Quarterback, you got to have it. So I think that's huge.
It
And I
matters, man. And
all
it,
coming
it,
in, and they got him after Mensa. They got it set. Manny Diaz, dude. I like what Duke's doing a lot.
you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for him. And like you said, we project him starting sooner rather than later. And we'll have the lowdown here. We'll have you keep you updated from Elite 11 finals there in California, and we will probably have Terry on again on the show after, get a recap as well, and he'll probably be in that top 11. Won't be surprised. So, Dalton, before we get out of here and you get to enjoy your time here in there in Florida.
Yeah, kids got back. I hear him yelling. I don't know if y'all can hear him.
yeah, your nephew, I assume, right?
Yeah, that's one of them.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah, they're cool. Great kids. They love sports. Know about football and really
Yeah,
just
they are.
one of them had a Tyreek Hill jersey on today. The other one had a Burrow jersey on. So pretty respectable. Pretty respectable. They're on the right path, man.
They are, and they're gonna have a heck of a time. I know you will as well. You're gonna eat some good seafood,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we will get you
Right now.
next week. Check our socials. Follow us at Home Squad Sports on all platforms. We're gonna leave you out with some highlights here before we leave. Who are we gonna play here? We'll play our boy Nick Kinsey, Eastern Michigan commit from Elite 11. We'll play his highlights on the outro. Before we go, any last words, Dalton?
I'm good, man. I'm just looking forward to the season. Every week it gets closer, and every week goes slower too, though, when you wait for football. So I'm just ready to watch some really good college football games. I'm not worried about the NFL at all, really. NFL's fine, but college is where I make my hay. That's why I like to watch.
Yeah.
Set me on the TV from 12 to 12 on Saturdays, and leave me alone.
Preach, brother. I can't wait and then you'll catch us Home Squad Sports. We'll have you games of the weeks, top 6 games of the week,
You're on Tuesday.
everything.
You're on Tuesday, draft.
Yes, you can catch me filling in. We're going to be appearing on Draft Professor throughout the off season. I'll be on during the regular season, but just so much to get through on our end. So Dalton's going to be getting us covered, representing Home Squad Sports every week, pretty much up until the season. I will be filling in for Dalton on the Draft Professors podcast next week. We're going to be covering none other than South Carolina and all their prospects in the draft next year. Lenore Sellers, let's get to talk to him. Let's get to talk guys that aren't even, unfortunately, we got a couple guys that aren't even draft eligible that would be on our list. And we have who's their edge rusher, Samson?
Dylan Stewart.
Stewart. Yeah, Dylan Stewart. Very
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a problem.
And they just got. You see, they got today from the portal.
No.
Your boy from Colorado, the running back, Auguste.
Oh, Augustov, yes. Isaiah, yeah, he's tough. And a guy you can't sleep on, a guy that can pretty much be all 3 down back, and but he's not going to need to because they got depth. So
exactly.
I agree. Colorado's in a tough pickle there, man. Hopefully Coach Deion Sanders gets well, and the blood clots are nothing to mess around with. Victor Wembanyama's going through them blood clots as well, so keep those guys in your thoughts and prayers. And
man, Vic, hopefully Vic Wemby, man, hopefully comes back healthy. He's once in a generation guy.
I know. Them blood clots are crazy, man. No matter how athletic you are, and it's just luck of the draw sometimes. So we'll see. And our best thoughts and prayers are for with them. And next week we're got a new conference for you. Check the socials. Top DBs coming out preseason. College football. That list will grow, but just the guys that we have some good film on going into this season. And we got you covered next week. We got a good outro as well. And you all have a great week.
See y'all later.
Peace.
Shimmer DK, wide receiver from Florida, Home Squad Sports.
This is Jacob Harris, and shout out to Home Squad Sports.
Hey, it's Jake Brenningstool with Home Squad Sports.
This is Seth Hennigan, here with Home Squad Sports.
Hey, hold on, let's move inside.